Breaking news. Nigerian government filed 7 amended charges against IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu as court sits on Monday. The amended 7 counts bordered on terrorism against the detained leader of IPOB. President Muhammadu Buhari-led Nigerian government has filed 7 amended charges bordering on terrorism before Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja, against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The court has also fixed Monday for Kanu's lawyers and the federal government prosecution team to address the court based on the ongoing case, the IPOB leader and between the IPOB leader and the government. The amended 7 counts bordered on terrorism against the detained leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. The amended charge marked FHC/ABJ/CR/383/2015 was entered before the Federal High Court in Abuja and contained all earlier sustained allegations against the IPOB leader. You can imagine. Sahara reporters had reported that Appeal Court Abuja Division had, in October 13th, discharged Nnamdi Kanu of the 7 count terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government of Nigeria. The appellate court, in a unanimous decision, faulted the process through which Kanu was brought before the Federal High Court to answer to a 15 count terrorism charge. Justice Dontu Adefope Okochi, who read the judgment of the 3-man panel, noted that there was nowhere the federal government showed it complied with the procedures for the extradition of the IPOB leader. The court, in a unanimous judgment, held that such extraordinary rendition without hindrance to due processes of the law was a gross violation of all international conventions, treaties, protocols, and guidelines that Nigeria is a signatory to, as well as a breach of the appellate's fundamental human rights. The appellate court further held that the government failed to reflect the allegation that the IPOB leader was in Kenya and that he was adopted and brought back to the country without any extradition processes. On that ground, the appellate court held that the government was silent on the issue, which it described as very pivotal in determining whether the trial court would still have the jurisdiction to continue with the criminal proceedings before it. The appellate court judges held that the Nigerian government's action tainted the entire proceedings it initiated against Nnamdi Kanu and amounted to an abuse of criminal prosecution in general. The 3-man judge therefore held, thus, the court will never shy away from calling the executive to order when it thinks towards executive recklessness. It accused the government of Nigeria of engaging in a serious abuse of power. Meanwhile, the federal government has appealed the appellate courts before the Supreme Court. As a result of the amended charges, it is to be argued whether the federal government could proceed to rearrange the IPOB leader on the amended charges despite the October 13 judgment. However, the federal government in the new amended charges alleged that Kanu had issued a deadly threat via a broadcast held and received across the country that anyone who disobeyed a sit-at-home order in the southeastern state should write his or her own will. It also contained that the resulting effects of the broadcast had caused banks, schools, markets, shopping malls, fuel stations in the eastern state parts of the country to shut down their businesses operations, affecting citizens and leading to grounding of vehicular movement. The federal government further alleged that the IPOB leader had between 2018 and 2021 made inciting broadcasts received and held in Nigeria, instigating the public to hurt and kill Nigerian security personnel and their family members, thereby committing an offense punishable under Section 1(2)(h) of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2023. Furthermore, the federal government alleged that Nnamdi Kanu had, between the March and April 2015, imported into Nigeria and kept in Ubilumuzo in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State a radio transmitter known as Trim 50L, concealed in a container of used household items, thereby committing an offense contrary to Section 47(2)(a) of Criminal Code Act Cap C45 Laws of the Federal of Nigeria 2004, adding that he also directed members of IPOB to manufacture bombs. AGF Abubakar Malami. Which kind useless government be this? Are you sure this government understands what the law is saying? I was expecting that because their original case has fallen apart, Kanu just needs to stay strong until Buhari leaves. He will not be free until Buhari leaves office. Hey, Nigerian government, they could not even obey court order, and they are filing case on which court? Sharia court? Very soon, your tenure will end as the worst government Nigeria has ever had, and we never have such. The same charges that the court struck out is what they are bringing back to the government, to the same court again. Total madness. Hey, these are some reactions by Nigerians. Honestly speaking, now Nigerians can now understand that Nigerians, we have an AGF who do not understand the law. Honestly speaking, this is a very big shame. I'm dropping it here. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section. Thank you for always listening.